Gentlemen, here's the brutal truth. She never truly saw your worth while you were always available. But the moment you walk away, something shifts. It's not magic, it's psychology. A man who has the strength to detach from what doesn't serve him triggers something powerful inside her. Not desperation, but desire. Not confusion, but curiosity. Because suddenly, you're no longer chasing. And that's when she starts wondering, what did I lose? Let's break this down. Here are 5 powerful reasons why walking away doesn't make you weak. It makes you unforgettable. When you are constantly present in someone's life, your presence becomes expected, even routine. Human psychology is wired to assign value to things based on scarcity. When something is always available, it's easy to take it for granted. This is especially true in relationships. If you're always the one reaching out, initiating plans, or offering emotional support, your consistency can ironically become invisible. It's not that she doesn't appreciate you, it's that she has no space to feel your absence, and without absence, there's no contrast. When you finally decide to pull back, to stop chasing and reclaim your time and attention, something changes. You become a question mark instead of a predictable answer. You move from being a given to a mystery. The moment you're no longer readily available, she is forced to evaluate what your presence actually meant. In the silence, your value becomes louder. In the distance, your impact deepens. You create a void, and that void makes her feel something she didn't have to confront before: the weight of your absence. She starts to wonder why you haven't called, what you're doing, if you've moved on. That wondering grows into curiosity, and curiosity often turns into desire. Scarcity doesn't mean you disappear forever. It means you become selective. You stop pouring energy into someone who isn't matching it. That decision alone elevates your perceived worth. People pay more attention to what they could lose than to what they already have. When she realizes that your attention was never guaranteed, that it was a gift and not a default, it hits different. And if there was real connection before, that's when she starts to truly miss you. Not because you're gone, but because now she sees what you actually brought into her life. Walking away forces a shift in the emotional power dynamic. When you're always available, always giving, always trying to fix things, you're operating from a place of pursuit. And in relationships, the one who is doing the chasing is usually the one with less perceived value. It doesn't matter how good your intentions are, if you're overextending yourself to make her stay or to win her attention, you're unintentionally signaling that you don't see yourself as the prize. But when you choose to walk away, not out of anger or manipulation, but from genuine self-respect, you reclaim your power. That shift speaks volumes. You are no longer reacting to her behavior, trying to get a response, or waiting around to be chosen. You become the one who makes the decision to leave when your standards aren't met. That energy is magnetic. It communicates that you have options, that your life is full, that you're not dependent on her validation. It reminds her, consciously or unconsciously, that your attention is earned, not owed. This doesn't mean playing games or being cold. It means holding your value firmly and refusing to stay in a space where you are not appreciated or prioritized. When she sees you walking away and feels the weight of your absence, that emotional tension builds. Suddenly, you're no longer just another man hoping to win her over. You're the man who knows when to stop giving to someone who's not giving back. That shift can stir up emotions she didn't even realize she had. Walking away demonstrates strength, self-worth, and emotional maturity, all things that subconsciously trigger attraction and respect. In choosing yourself, you remind her of the type of man you are, one who leads with strength, not neediness. And that changes everything. Women are deeply intuitive and emotionally driven, often responding more to what they feel than what they see. When you're constantly around, always texting, always reaching out, there's no emotional space for her to feel your absence. Emotions need contrast to be recognized. Just like we can't appreciate light without darkness, she can't feel the weight of your presence until she experiences your absence. This is where emotional contrast comes into play. When you walk away, you create silence where there used to be noise. That silence forces her to tune into how she actually feels without your presence distracting her from it. Maybe she was confused, distracted, or unsure before, but now, with the emotional volume turned down, she's left with her thoughts, and most importantly, her feelings. Memories start to play. Moments she overlooked begin to matter. She remembers how you made her feel, the little things you did, and the energy you brought into her life. The emotional contrast you create by stepping back becomes the mirror she never expected. It reflects what's missing now that you're gone. This can stir regret, longing, and desire, not because you forced anything, but because you gave her room to reflect. And unlike pressure or pleading, emotional contrast isn't confrontational. It's silent. It happens inside her when she realizes that the peace, certainty, or connection she felt with you isn't there anymore. That contrast is powerful because it's internal. She isn't being told to miss you, she's feeling it on her own. And feelings move people more than words ever could. By walking away, you're not trying to create a reaction. You're creating space for realization. And in that space, she may come to see your worth more clearly than she ever did when you were always around. There's a powerful shift that happens when a man stops chasing and starts focusing on himself. Often, men invest so much energy trying to fix, please, or hold on to a woman that they forget the one thing they actually have control over: themselves. When you walk away and redirect your attention inward, toward your goals, your health, your growth, you become a magnet, not just to her, but to the world. This transformation is not about revenge or trying to prove something. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your self-worth. When you're focused on becoming the best version of yourself, everything about you changes. Your confidence improves, your discipline sharpens, and your mindset becomes more resilient. This is attractive not because of the external results, but because of the energy it carries. A man who knows his value and lives with purpose doesn't need to beg for attention. He commands it simply by being who he is. This kind of growth makes her take notice in ways words never could. She sees that you're not stuck, you're not bitter, and you're certainly not waiting. You've moved forward. That realization challenges her assumptions. It makes her question whether she underestimated your value. And while she's sitting with those thoughts, you're evolving. Not for her, but for yourself. True transformation isn't loud, it's quiet and consistent. And it becomes undeniable. When she sees you leveling up while she's still in the same emotional place, that contrast creates intrigue, curiosity, and often regret. The version of you that walks away and then rises becomes a version she never expected, and maybe now, a version she wishes she hadn't lost. But by then, you're no longer chasing anything. You've already found the only thing that matters: your power. When you walk away and mean it, you create the one thing most men are afraid to face: mystery. She no longer knows what you're doing, how you're feeling, or if you're even thinking about her anymore. That silence, that absence of validation, creates a space where her mind begins to wander. And in that quiet, she starts to remember, not just what she had with you, but how it felt to have your presence in her life. She starts to compare, consciously or unconsciously, the version of you that once gave her attention and affection with the current void she's experiencing. This mystery isn't about manipulation. It's a natural byproduct of no longer being available. And ironically, the more unknown you become to her, the more intriguing you become. People want what they can't have. It's a simple truth of human psychology. When you were always around, always texting back, always making time, she had certainty. Now, she has questions. Is he with someone else? Has he moved on? Does he even care anymore? That mental loop creates a deeper emotional reaction than any argument or explanation ever could. You didn't need to say anything. Your absence said it all. Women often fall in love in your presence, but they obsess in your absence. When they start to imagine scenarios, relive memories, and realize what's gone, that's when the craving starts to build. So while she might not have responded to your words before, now she's responding to the mystery you've become. You flip the dynamic. She's no longer in control of your emotions. You are. And now, she's the one wondering, hoping, and maybe even hurting. Not because you tried to make her feel anything, but because you finally stopped trying at all. So, next time you feel like holding on tighter, try letting go, not out of spite, but out of strength. Because when you walk away with dignity and purpose, you're not losing her. You're giving her the chance to realize what she had before it's too late. And that's when she craves you more than ever.